So as you know, as the whole world knows, Beyonce is coming out with an album called Renaissance. I'm excited to hear it, to see what direction she goes in, because I've heard some interesting things so far. Whether you're a Beehive or not, I am personally not in the Beehive, but I can acknowledge that Beyonce is one of the most famous, one of the most hardworking performers of our time. Hard stop. I can give her flowers. However, there are a lot of people coming up that are saying things like, we all have the same hours in our day as Beyonce, as if to say that the reason why we are poor or unsuccessful is because we're lazy, because we don't have the same work ethic as Beyonce. We are not as successful as Beyonce is. For a few reasons, I don't think that this phrase is true. Number one, you do not have the same hours in your day as Beyonce. Technically, you do. We all have 24 hours in our day. However, she has resources, wealth, connections. Her name alone rings bells in people's ears, from the random person to the high earning executive. She's able to have access to things that we don't have access to. Her wealth can buy her a nanny, a chef, a chauffeur, a person that is dressing her, managing her Instagram accounts, right? For us lay people, we don't have access to those things. And it's not to knock. I think it's really smart to have those things. But to say that we are in the same position as Beyonce is a lie. But I do think that we can learn something from Beyonce. Beyonce is a master collaborator, meaning that with whatever she's creating, music, a show, she is collaborating with many people. Look at her history. The clothes that Destiny's Child used to wear, right? Her mother made those clothes. Destiny's Child altogether. That was a collaboration with 3 or 4 other people, right? So throughout her whole career, her being successful is not about her being self-made. It's not about solely her work ethic. It's about her collaboration and connection to other artists and other people. And some people would think that this is a call out or an indictment on Beyonce, and it's not. I think it's really smart. If I had the resources and the wealth, I would be doing the same thing. But the truth is that most of us who are her supporters do not have the same access, resources, wealth as Beyonce does. And so to compare ourselves to her is not only unfair, but is also untrue. And it's not acknowledging everybody else that is in Beyonce's life that allows her to be Beyonce. Even her marriage to Jay-Z, one could argue that that is a collaboration within itself. Being connected to someone with so much power, access, so much clout brings you clout as well. So even her, Beyonce, her presence in his life brings Jay-Z clout as well. And so theirs is a collaborative marriage where because they are together and they get to collaborate on music, but also making a family and wealth, that puts them in a better position than all of us. So while I give Beyonce her flowers for being talented, gifted, hardworking, I cannot say that she is self-made and that her hours are just consumed with her just focusing solely on her craft. I don't know her, obviously, but clearly she needs help to be able to remain Beyonce, to remain the performer that we all know and love, but also to help raise her children, to take care of her home. I imagine doing all those things, you can't have a properly balanced life. Even if we look at her creative cycle, if we look at the things that she creates, like her clothes and her music, her shows, they don't all happen at the same time. She has a method for what she's doing. Also, I think it's really, really clever. Her marketing team, she doesn't manage her own Instagram, obviously. And so what I love is that because she doesn't come out that often, when she does, she doesn't have to put that much work into pushing something. If she dropped something right now, everybody would buy it because she has worked so hard to build up that fame and that clout. But the question is, do we really want to put in that work? And if your answer is no, you're not lazy, you're not slothful. If you choose not to be Beyonce, it doesn't mean that you're lazy or that you don't have your priorities in check. Maybe you prioritize other things. Maybe you prioritize your peace and your mental health and your physical well-being. While Beyonce has a beautiful physique, I don't forget on Homecoming, when she just had the twins and she was on a crash diet to lose weight, to exercise, to get ready for the Homecoming show. Now, the show was amazing on Netflix. It was absolutely phenomenal. I love being able to see the behind the scenes, but it didn't go unnoticed how unhealthy she was being with herself and with her body. Before she gave birth, she had struggles and complications in her pregnancy. And so right after she gave birth, she had to lose all that weight that she gained as a mother of twins to be able to be performance ready for us, the consumer. Now, to me, that sounds a little unhealthy. I'm just going to be honest, but that's how dedicated she is to her work. And a part of me is sad because I kind of feel like she has to maintain this physique, has to maintain this look, this iconic, performance level, because that's what her people have come to expect. Some of the ways that she's going about getting things done to appease us, lay people, It's just not healthy and it's not the standard. And if you as a layperson is trying to be like Beyonce, count the cost, right? Count the cost of what it really takes to be a performer, a famous person of her caliber, to be a person that people know in homes, that ring bells across the world. So much work went into that. And for me, even as an artist, I don't think that I'm that dedicated. I don't think that it's that important to me to become that famous because I see what it costs. It costs time, it costs health, it costs relationships. But it also cost her being able to just be a person. Beyonce can't just walk in Target and mind her business and stroll along. She has to carry security with her because of who she has become. And for me, as a personal, just my personal opinion, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for me. But for some people, maybe they want to replicate what Beyonce is doing. But I really think it's important that you count the cost before you commit to going that route and going that journey. Also, understand that just because she's talented does not mean that that's what took her to where she is. I do think that she's a hard worker, but I also understand connections, luck, timing, all these factors come into play when it comes to being a success. Beyond her hard work, it is luck and time and resources and connections that have gotten her to where she is. Starting as a child, her parents were supportive of what she was doing. For a lot of us artists, that may not be the case. And so you have all these years where you're trying to work up to be like her, but we don't have the same starting block nor the same connections that she had. And I think that's okay. It's okay. So for me, when I was younger, I used to want to be famous like Beyonce. I wanted to be in Destiny's Child. But then after seeing the work, the time, right, the grinding, the hustling that goes into becoming a household name like Beyonce, I am turned off. I am not interested. And what is frustrating to me is that some other people use Beyonce as, standard. And so if you don't meet that standard, then somehow you are less than, you are less important, you are less talented. When in reality, a lot of the reason why she is successful is because of capitalism, is because of a power machine working behind her. And a lot of artists like myself who are lay people don't have that same label, don't have the same money, resources, connections to get their art out there. I used to think that fame was the marker of success. I used to think that if I was famous, then I had made it. But the truth is that there's so much that goes into becoming famous that it's just not worth it to me. I am not willing to do the work that it takes to become famous. And the truth is I didn't really want fame. I wanted acceptance. I wanted love. I wanted to feel like my art and my work was worthy, that it was good enough, that maybe if enough people supported me, then I can start believing in myself as well. And so some people are taking that same mindset with Beyonce, with, the way that she looks, the way that she presents herself, the projects that she does, the money that she has, the husband that she has, the access that she has. We're using her as the marker of success when we don't have the same support system, the same access, the same money. And the one thing that frustrates me about this phrase about you have the same hours in your day as Beyonce does, which is a lie, is that it pushed forth hustle culture. This idea that if I work hard enough, if I give enough of my life, if I give all these years to this industry, to this market, to these people, then I'll be able to be successful. Then I'll be as successful as Beyonce. And the truth is that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. We know that hustle culture is a lie. It is a scam. It is trying to convince us that we should dedicate our whole lives to hard work in hopes that one day we'll be able to have the yacht, we'll be able to retire, we'll be able to be wealthy and rich and all these things. But we know from personal experiences, our elders, people who gave their whole lives to work and have nothing to show for it now. It's the same messaging and it's toxic and it's not true. Though I can say that Beyonce is a great performer, she is talented, all that good stuff, she is also a capitalist. She has also benefited from marketing and selling and making money off of other people. Beyonce is not self-made because you made her. As a Beyonce fan, you going to her shows and buying her albums, buying her Ivy Park things, like you all make Beyonce a millionaire. And that's okay. Support who you want to support. But let's be real. She is not self-made. She is made by her fans. And I don't think that she would disagree with that. So what am I trying to say in all this? Be kind with yourself. Be patient. And it's also okay that you don't want to aspire to be like Beyonce. I don't. Join the club. It's okay. It's okay if you don't want to work hard. It's okay if you don't want to work your whole life away for this promise that one day you'll be rewarded. It's okay if you want to enjoy your life now. It's okay if you don't dedicate every hour of your waking hours to work, to labor, to strive to get acceptance and accolades and fame. It's okay. Set yourself free from that. It's okay to listen to music and artists and enjoy them and not aspire to be them. It's okay. You are valid. You are worthy. And I feel like a lot of us don't know that we're worthy because we're trying so hard to be something that people love, someone that people love, when all together we were lovely the whole time. And it really makes me wonder how many of us do things because we think we're going to be loved, do things with the promise of love at the end, but not really because we want to do them. We become versions of ourselves that are dishonest, that are not true, that are inauthentic, and wonder why we're miserable. There's a reason why artists become so famous and they still choose to end their life. There's a reason why people who are successful and famous and loved don't love themselves. Because if you have fame without the love for yourself, then you're just going to spiral. You're going to be chasing people's applause and accolades for the rest of your life, and that sounds like a miserable life. It's okay if you want to spend your waking hours on the beach or doing nothing or watching Netflix or camping or cruising around or hanging out with your friends. You don't have to sacrifice living a joyful life, chasing fame, accolades, success, and money. You can have a beautiful life and not have to live like Beyonce. Beyonce is not the pinnacle of success. She's not the pinnacle of worth and value. You have to determine what that is for yourself. Like I spoke of before, do not miss your life. Do not miss the joy in your life, chasing something elusive, chasing something that is always moving, chasing something that will never give you worth. You have to harness and hold on to that thing for yourself for dear life, because everywhere someone is telling you that you are not worthy, that you are not good enough, that you have to earn your worth, that you have to keep working in order to be loved, to be treated kindly, to be respected. And that's my issue with that phrase. You don't have the same amount of hours in your day as Beyonce. And that's okay. You will never be Beyonce. And that's okay. But you are you and you are worthy. And the world needs you as you are. You are not a failure if you're not famous. You're not a failure if you're not wealthy. You're not a failure if people across the globe don't know your name. You are a success because you are here. You are trying your best. And that is worthy of applause. So I see you. I love you. Please take heart. Enjoy the album. And I will talk to you all in the next video.